There seems to be this growing interest in digital track and trace systems
Yeah.
and other surveillance tools to secure medicine supply chains. From your experience, what evidence do we have that these approaches meaningfully reduce patient risk rather than simply shifting the problem elsewhere?
A great question. So there's a lot of digital track and trace technology that people are trying to develop relevant to a particular country and its maturation of its supply chain. So in the US, we have the Drug Supply Chain Security Act, which is kind of implemented after 10 years. Very technical, requires a lot of different data harmonization components and requires manufacturers to agree to that. Early evidence is it's able to detect products that are not registered and not appropriately managed in the supply chain. That could be things that get returned back in, things like that. But it's a pretty costly system to operate, both technically and from the manufacturer standpoint. So to scale that to other countries might be very difficult. And that's why more consumer focused digital tracing technology like Pedigree and mobile phones and people being able to check the medicines themselves and see if they can validate it to a manufacturer's database are things that are thought about as potential tools in, for example, low to middle income countries, because again, the infrastructure may not be there to run a full track and trace system. And then there's all the technology that goes above that with RFID tags and the things you actually put on the products to authenticate them or to validate them. So it's really complex, but I think it's about capacity building. Like how much do we want to spend on supply chains, and then what's the right technology for a country given its technology capacity and its infrastructure. And the closer you get to these systems being a network on network effect, meaning that one system links to another system and they're similar, then you're going to get more protection. However, that doesn't really address the total illicit market like internet pharmacies or illicit online drugs, because they operate outside of those markets completely and they go direct to the consumer. So in those cases, those digital track and trace systems may not work as well because, again, those are completely separate supply chains.